Thanks so much for your company. I am Pius Kojo Baka. Let's now settle for the details. And Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta has indicated that Eurobond holders may face a nominal haircut of between 30 and 40% as part of the restructuring of the external debt. According to him, coupons may also not exceed 5% with final maturities of not more than 20 years. Updating investors about the state of Ghana's debt restructuring in London, Mr. Ofori-Atta said Ghana has no antipathy towards any financial instrument, ensuring that every investor's position will be respected.
So in our indicative scenario, the restructuring terms for bondholders involve maybe a nominal haircut between 30 and 40%, looking at maybe coupons of no more than 5%, and final maturities of no more than maybe 20 years. The contours of what we are discussing and analyzing.
Thank you, Minister.
I mean, we've heard a lot of that in recent weeks, and really, as a country, as a people, we have no antipathy towards any instruments which would ensure that everybody's position is respected.
All right, so I've been joined in studio by Isaac Kofi of the Joy News Research Desk to help us break this down and, of course, tell us exactly what it means for Ghana and, of course, its implication as well on the economy, basically. Kofi, thanks so much for joining me on Business Live.
Welcome.
First of all, tell me about this entire proposal government is making to our external creditors.
Well, so government already did the presentation to the commercial creditors way back April. At the beginning of the year, and they told them that they were looking for haircuts, not just on principal, but also haircuts on interest. So you said it right, the principal, the haircut Ghana is looking for is between 30 to 40%. That's on the principal. And then on interest, yesterday we had Ken Ofori-Atta saying that we also want haircut on interest, probably no more than 5%. And so we are hoping that from a 30 to 40% cut on principal, and not more than 40% cut on interest, we will be able to get that fiscal space that we need to breathe from the commercial market. And
what will this mean for the next decade?
Well, so we've been studying the data, and we know that between 2023 and somewhere 2030 something, Ghana will be paying close to $8 billion. About $8 billion of these Eurobonds that we've actually borrowed will be maturing within this short period, almost $8 billion. And we need to make sure that we restructure most of them so that we don't find ourselves wanting and getting trapped in that fiscal, net. And that's the reason why we are talking to the creditors. We want, haircut on both principal and interest. But what this means is that if we are not able to get the magnitude of haircut that we want, then it means that we're still going to go ahead with some debts, servicing in the years to come, which is going to affect our fiscal position.
30 to 40% is really huge and
very
huge. A big deal. We are currently under an IMF program looking forward to our second tranche. What are going to be the implications of that for us?
So already, if you look at the IMF program, Ghana needs additional $10.5 billion to show up the BOP, financing gap that we need. And we need to get this from the debt restructuring, from the bilateral creditors, from the commercial creditors. And thankfully, some of these multilateral loans have been taken out of the restructuring process. But we need that breathing space of $10.5 billion. So if you look at what Ghana needs, and the fact that, we've already been priced out of the Eurobond market, and if you want to go back to the market, it means that they're going to charge us high coupon rates. So if we take that 30 to 40% haircut right now, it means it's going to take some time before we return to the Eurobond market. It simply also means that if you are not able to return to the Eurobond market within the shortest possible time, it means probably Ghana would have to extend, the 3-year, program that we have, probably to 2028 or 2029.
I don't know what your data is telling you or your analysis is telling you, because basically Professor Williams believes, for example, that it's going to be difficult for government to get the buy-in of these investors.
Well, if you listen to the finance minister, it seems he's had the backing of almost all the commercial creditors. They are one now, and that makes the whole negotiation very simple. But, it's a complex process with this whole, litigation issues and all of those things. But the finance minister is very confident that at least probably will get a haircut of, 30%. He said it in April that they were not so sure the magnitude of haircut. Now they've turned in a formal proposal. We are hoping that they will accept this 30 to 40%. But absolutely and definitely there will be repercussions going forward. 2026, 2027.
Definitely. Thank you very much, Kofi Eji, with our research desk here. Joining us. Meanwhile, Associate Professor of Finance at Andrews University in the USA, Professor Williams says it's not going to be rosy for government to get Eurobond holders to accept the nominal haircut of between 30 and 40%.
That's probably the discussion will be on whether the 30 to 40% and nominal haircuts will be something that have to be looked at, because it is a significant impact for them to lose between 3 to 5 billion US dollars is very, very, very significant amount. So that is where that kind of negotiation will have to be. I'm not sure they will be too much worried about the 5% interest payment and then also the duration of 20 years, because they know if Jesus does not come, the duration interest rate of 5% is still high, and because averagely we have been paying around 8.8%. So if they lose 3% and then we hold on, get these coupon payments for the next 20 years in dollar-denominated terms, it is good. But where the challenge will be for us as a country is to be able to convince them to accept the nominal haircut of 30 to 40%. That is where the challenge will be. If you remember, I was in Ghana and I made a speech, and I noted that the 3-year IMF program is not something that is going to help us solve our problem. We needed a longer period of IMF program. If you ask me, a 6 to 7 year program would have helped us. So all these points given by your analysts are in line. If we really want to free ourselves and from this insolvency situation we find ourselves, we will need a longer period to be able to have this kind of discussion.
Still watching Business Live here with me, Pius Kojo Baka. Now, the cedi is expected to weaken for the 3rd week running. This follows rising foreign exchange demand from local corporates and importers ahead of the festive season. There is more in this report.
Appreciate following limited foreign exchange support from the Bank of Ghana. This is despite the central bank's $20 million auction to bulk oil distribution companies and $2 million spot market interventions. These, many analysts said, were insufficient to meet the persistent foreign exchange demand. Nonetheless, the rate of depreciation is not alarming. The local currency lost 0.17% in value against the dollar last week, closing at 11 cedis, 84 pesos. It also depreciated by 0.86% against the pound and 0.60% against the euro on the retail market. On the interbank market, the cedi, however, posted a mixed performance.
And that's all for Business Live for today. I am Pius Kojo Baka. We make way for the National Science and Math Quiz competition about starting now.